Am I alive? Am I? Am I? We have a few messages. Please show compositing in Blender. कि आप कैरेक्टर ब्लेंडर में 3D कैसे बनाया सर प्लीज़. Hey Tao, hey Twani creates, and I can't read this name. Khushua, Khushua, I think that's the name. We'll wait for a bit, maybe a minute or so. Aditya, thanks brother. I'm glad. So there's some marriage going on in the street, and there's a lot of movement, a lot of vehicles passing by, a lot of people talking. I don't know what's going on. Whenever I select a day to stream, something's happening here. Actually, there's a. Let me just go out and check what's going on. Yeah, a bit crowded, but it's fine. That's not the main fear. The main fear is my daughter. She's home. I mean, she'll of course be home at this hour, but it's almost her sleeping time. She sleeps at around 9:30 to 10. That's her sleeping time, and I think our stream will be going by then. So she might hijack the stream. So there is evident fear here. Let's see how do we deal with it. So in today's live stream, I'm gonna go through the last project that we worked on, the Hanumanji one, right? And I'm gonna go through the entire process and give you a brief about, roughly a brief on what all we did to reach to the final result. It's not gonna be like I'll sit down and draw everything. I might do a few drawings, but not gonna be like a full-on drawing session. And if you have any questions in between, you can just always ask in the chat. If I'm not in the flow, if I feel like I can answer it right now, then I'll answer it. Otherwise, I can take all these questions by the end of the stream. Yeah. Okay. I need my trusty glove. Oops. This one. So many people ask me actually when I post this story, whenever I post a story, and I have my drawing hand in it. So people are like, where did you get this glove from, or how did you make it? I just got a regular Scooty glove from the market. This costed around like 20 rupee per glove, so it's around 40 rupee a pair. And I just cut it with a scissor. That's it. It's a makeshift glove, and it works fine. On touchscreen it works fine. It what do you call that? Touch something like touch rejection, palm rejection. Yeah, it works with palm rejection. So it's fine. It's perfectly fine. So yeah, you don't need any fancy gloves. Those 2,000, 3,000 rupees glove. Anyways, it's gonna be sweaty as well. It's gonna wear down as well. So might as well just buy something really cheap and keep using it. If it wears down, you can just buy it again. It doesn't cost much. So I'm just gonna name it live stream notes. Right, that's live stream notes here. So let's go through the process. What process generally we use to make our animation. Now we are making a course as well. It's really slow. The course is coming out really slow. I was hoping to finish it by now, but we are almost at the starting phase. It's a lot of things going on, and that's why it's difficult for me to sit down and record myself. Tomorrow I'm supposed to record another session of the course, but I'm so overloaded with like the reels work and rest of the things that I wanted to do that I don't think I can sit down for course tomorrow. Also, today was absolutely non-productive day. I sat down whole day trying to search for some acting references, couldn't find one. So in the end, by I think 8 o'clock around, I just recorded myself. So yeah, today was absolutely unproductive. So shit. Anyways, so there's a message. सर क्या आप प्रोफेशनल हो या फिर आपको एनिमेशन का काम में बहुत टाइम हो गया है, क्योंकि आपकी एनिमेशन देखकर लगता है कि आप प्रोफेशनल एनिमेटर हो. ब्रो आप फ्रीलांस हो या किसी कंपनी में प्रोफेशनल. आई एम अ 37-year-old मैन. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम नाउ. इफ एंड I've been animating from like 10 years, I think. Yeah, 10 years. So if you can count that as a professional, then yes, I am a professional. I don't know how to label myself, to be honest. I just want to do some stuff, and I want to make it absolutely beautiful. That's it. So that might be a professional, I might be a professional, who knows. But I mean, I don't have 10 years of experience in art. I have been drawing when I was 6 years. So I started drawing when I was 6 years, and then I kept on drawing, and then I left drawing, and I left the field entirely for I think 6 to 7 years, or maybe 4 years of job, 4 years of college, 2 years of graduation, 2 years of school. So that's 10 years, right? 10 years, I think I was just like doing it as a hobby. I was not very serious about it, and I almost gave up in this field. I'm like, I have a job. I'm an IT professional now, so might as well just keep it as a hobby and do my job. But I don't know what happened. I just resigned, and I started doing this freelancing and stuff when I was 27 years. So at the age of 27 years, I left the IT field and I entered the animation industry. And when I entered animation industry, so for a lot of people who go to college or who start early in their life, they make a lot of connections in the field. So they know a lot of people. They know the community. They know where to go. They know like a lot of things about this field. I, on the other hand, just came from IT field, so I don't know where to look at. I had no connections. I didn't know how the field works, how it behaves. I was thinking it as an IT industry, and I was thinking only the big giant companies hold the most value here, and I was not aware of the startups or the indie scenario, or that you can have communities and you have like people who help each other. I was unaware of all of this. So in this desperate, so for I think for initial 5 months or 6 months after I left my job, I just sat down every single day all by myself, and I did some freelance, and it was incredibly boring, and I couldn't even do freelancing properly because I was so worked up. So then I joined Mac in a desperate move to get into the community, and boy oh boy, that didn't turn out well. I mean, of course, I still have people connected with me from Mac, right, from that institute where I joined. So maybe, but there were better ways. So I wouldn't blame myself for any of this because I didn't know, right? So I tried my absolute best. I tried to make best decisions that I could. But yeah, so I got trapped in that Mac thing, and that took me around like 3 years or something. And then finally I started doing freelancing, and that did not work. Then I started another startup that did not work. So then 5 years passed, and then I started to get some work. Until that time, I became good in art as well. So for 3 years, I worked really well. Did a shit ton of projects. After 3 years, the market went down again in 2023. Yeah, in 2022 for me. So then I was working on my personal project, so I preferred them more over searching for freelance work. And so 2024 happens. 2024, yeah, and I opened an Instagram account and started posting my animations because I wanted to since always. That's the story so far. So yeah, if that's a professional, yeah, that's a massive detour actually. That's a massive detour from what I wanted to do for this live stream. There are more questions regarding the career. I might have steered the live stream in a different direction. But if it helped you guys, then why not? I studied BSc IT for just degree purpose and started doing a job in YouTube animation field. Man, oh man, YouTube animation field. Trying to be an influencer or trying to be a content creator or trying to be something like that. I don't know how good that works for people. It doesn't work really good for me. Beside the follower count that you see and beside the view count that you see and beside the people that I get to meet, when it comes to earning money, it's an uphill battle for me at least. It's an uphill battle, and I've been trying different ways to do that. But even in the long run, even let's say you're making money from reels or from your YouTube videos or whatever, even in the long run, I don't know how will it help you, because you're kind of you just get logged into that single thing of creating reels. It's so demanding. You need to pour constant efforts into it, otherwise it will stop working, right? Somebody else will take over. There are thousands of people, actually millions of people, who want to take that spot, and the algorithm will give them the spot freely. So it's like you'll have to constantly put yourself out there, and it's not something inherently bad. It's fine, because whatever you do, you'll have to constantly put efforts into it. But one of the main issue that happens is, as you keep on doing this, there's a very little scope of you learning anything else, or if you want to improve yourself, then you barely get any time. So you have to be smart here. You have to learn how to manage this content creation, and that has to be something that your audience resonate with. At the same time, you have to dedicate some time to improve yourself. Now, me on the other hand, I want to put absolutely best in everything that I do. So in that, what happens is it becomes a little challenging trying to manage multiple things together. So I'm still trying to figure out whether reels or YouTube videos or this online content creation is something that is actually feasible thing for artists. I mean, I'll come to know in upcoming years, or I'll have a definite answer for this in the future once I go through all of this. But at the same time, I'm not relying on reels or YouTube or anything. I'm trying like multiple approaches, trying to see what actually works for artists or people who have vision higher than the reels or all this regular content. Are you an Indian? Brother, look at this. Of course I'm an Indian. What do you mean by that? I'm more Indian than any of you can be. No, I'm not taking any offense. I'm just like messing around with you. Yeah, I'm in India. I live in Indore. Is that a tracker board behind it? You saw that. You saw that. Yeah. So this, how's this clean? Yeah, this clean. So this used to, I used to use this. This is called Charuko board. And around a year ago, I was trying to do some experiments with mocap. So there's a software called Open Mocap, I think that's the name. Skelly is the sign. Yes, Skelly by Skelly. I think Skelly is the company name or the brand name. I'm not sure. But Open Mocap is the product or the project. And I got really invested into it. And I'm like, this might work. This might be a solution to all the mocap problems that we have. So I bought like shit ton of cameras. I bought 4 cameras, 4 tripods, actually 6 tripods, 4 cameras. I got this printed out. I bought bunch of cables to extend that USB connection, and I have all of them here. I can show them to you. You see them? All of them. A bunch of like cameras and stuff and all that. So there are like a lot of stuff there. I bought all of that. It costed me around like 10K, and I was in hope that I'll make it work and I'll get the money back from the projects. Because in the past I have done these kind of experiments where I bought like some random stuff and I'm like, I'll make it work and I'll get projects from this technology and somehow I'll make the money back. And it worked for me in the past. But this time I invested around 10K, 12K in this one. I thought I'll make my money back, but I couldn't. I did everything I could to make it work. Didn't work. The results were like, sloppy. They were half-baked. They are like not really precise. You can't use them in animation. So ultimately I gave up. I'm like, I'm just losing a lot of time here. So I just gave up, throw away all the cameras, throw away all the tripods. One of them just broke. My daughter just broke one of the tripod 2 days ago. So yeah, those 10,000 rupees, I don't think they are coming back. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Experimentation demands sacrifices. It is fine. Yeah, free mocap. Yeah, exactly. I was trying that. Yeah, if you're checking it out, yeah, good man. Harsh, if it works for you, drop me a message on Insta. I'm in a desperate position where if it works, I can say that yeah, that money is not wasted. Trying to ask you that if you have studied from National Institute of Design or not. From NID, I no, I have only one degree, that is from from IPS Academy in Indore, and that is BE, Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science. So that's the only degree I have. I haven't done any course from NID. Even the MAC, when I joined, I didn't complete anything. They just took my 75,000 rupees and they taught me nothing. I learned Maya all by myself. They taught me maybe basic modeling, and then one of my sir left. So there was no teacher for animation, for rigging. So I learned rigging, scripting, the Mel script, and the Python that we use in Maya, and the animation all by myself. And then I became a faculty there because I spent 75,000 on Mac. So I wanted to get it back somehow. So I joined as a faculty. I taught there for around like 6 months. Once I got my money back, and then I left the Mac. so that was my plan. But I don't think, I can actually consider getting my money back, because in the end I paid them in hours as well, right? So it's not like I actually got my money back. It's just an exchange that I want to remember. Okay, so there are a lot more questions. I think this stream is going in a different tangent. We should stop the questions for now, right? I'll come back to all the questions. First, let's just go through this, project that we really wanted to have live stream for. So the first thing is storyboard. BOARD. So what are we writing down, by the way? If you wanna make your own animations, right? And animations, I mean like final renders, not like half baked or rough animations or just the body mechanics. It's like the absolute final result with lighting and shading and background and compositing, everything. So for that, we start with storyboard, and this is our process. What we do, we try to simplify the process as much as we can. So we can complete everything in the shortest amount of time possible. So this has been catered to specifically our needs. May not exactly work with you. You might have to make some changes to this process so that it works better with you, right? So storyboard, and then we directly try to jump from storyboard to 3D animation. Now this 3D animation may not need to be final, but this 3D animation could be rough. We can call it rough or final, whatever. If the animation is too simple, then we directly do the final animation. If the animation is a bit complicated, multiple shots involved, one shot connected to another or something like that, then we do the rough pass, and then we do the final. But nonetheless, whatever is the result, rough or final, this goes into the first comp draft. For those who don't know compositing, this will be a little difficult, but you can just imagine like putting all the shots together. So that's like the first comp draft. We do like rough animations, and we just put all of them together, and we are like, okay, this is how the final result's gonna look like. This is where you get to be the director of your movie, and you sit down and be like, oh shit, this is how it's gonna look like. Oh shit, damn. So this is the first draft, right? After this, so once you're a bit confident, you can clean up the 3D animation and you can call it final. So if it's final 3D animation, again it goes to the comp draft, and then it's gonna be second comp draft, right? Now once 3D animation is ready, if it so requires 3D animation, so it is an optional OPTIONAL. It is an optional process. If it doesn't require you 3D animation and you feel like you can directly do it from storyboard, and you can just absolutely go hand drawn, then comes the rough animation. And this is hand drawn. We only do hand drawn animation. We don't do object based animation. So I mean the primary thing. So whenever we do character animation or anything, we don't do the object based or the rig based animation. It's just purely hand drawn. So that's why I've written it hand drawn here. And this rough animation goes into the comp draft again. So this goes into the comp, and now you get to see how does it look like with lines. If we are using 3D, then we'll draw our 3D. So this 3D animation goes to, it doesn't go to the comp draft, doesn't go to rough animation. It's the individual shot renders that goes to 2D animation. So we render all of these shots individually, and then we put them into some drawing software, for example Clip Studio Paint or Blender itself, and then we draw over that 3D to get the hand drawn results. Now sometimes shots are simple, really simple, you can just clean them up in the one go. Sometimes they're difficult, so there you'll have to have the rough animations over 3D animation first, and then you clean them up, right? So it's like you're like, what the hell, you make rough animations, you first make 3D animations, and then you make rough animation on top of 3D, and then you do cleanup. Why don't you just do rough animation? Yeah, we can do it, but sometimes camera angles are complicated, sometimes it's difficult to adjust the perspective, and remember, we just got 1 week. Generally we try to finish everything in a week. Sometimes we can't, because things get a bit too messy. This week is one of them. I don't think I'll be able to finish the animation by the end of this week. But we have to try. We have 4 more days left. I still have to start the 3D animation though for this week's reel. Anyways, after the rough animation, then you clean it up. So this is clean up and color. At this point of time, we don't do much of comp because here you get to see almost the final result. How you get to see the timings, if there's any sort of sound effects or anything. So this goes into the sound effect part. SOUND, sound effects, and music. Right. So you put sound effects and music here in this comp. Actually, the arrow should be other way around. Can I rotate it? I don't think I can. Yeah, so sound effects go here. Okay. So, but there's important step that you're missing here, and that is in this whole process, you have never seen what your final result looks like with colors and with lighting and gradients and all that kind of shit. So if you just follow this process linearly, and in the end you bring up this color and the background and everything together, it might look like a piece of shit, right? And you might look at the result and be like, nope, this is not what I wanted, and you might flip the table and be done with it. So when you're doing this 3D animation, somewhere around here, right? Somewhere around 3D animation or the storyboard, this part, you'll have to take one of the frame out of the storyboard or the 3D animation, and this frame goes directly, this frame goes into one of the thing which is called style frame. So this frame, if there are multiple different shots, for example, the background changes or the character changes or something happens, multiple lighting effects, then you might have to make different style frames for those different shots. But if it's simple one, you can just make one single style frame, and that might do it for the rest of the shots. Right. So you make it somewhere around here, 3D animation, or while you're doing rough animation, you can also make a style frame. But this style frame is important for you to know how your final result will look like, along with your background colors, your character colors, all the gradients and the post effects that you're gonna put, and everything else, all the filters that you are thinking to put into your animation. So once you have the cleanup and the color, you and at the parallel you work on backgrounds too. Backgrounds, any sort of 2D effects, like in the last animation there's fire effects and there's smoke and dust and stuff like that. So you work on all of them in parallel, and finally you take all 3 of them or 4 of them, how many of these passes are, and you put all of them into one final comp. So this will have sound effects and music as well, and it will take reference from the style frame. So all of this, all of this massive steps of dance that you have been preparing, all of these performers come together and they made the final piece. So that's how it is. So that's the entire process. Take a screenshot of it if you want to, because I'll change the screen from here on. Oh, I just realized my face is in front of the style frame. Can I change it from here? Yeah, there you go. So if you want to take a screenshot, do it now. Okay, so let's go to the chat. Oh, someone is going wild. The screen is in between. Yep, my screen was in between. some real ADHD behavior here. Resize it. How about I move it? Deep Joshi. By style frame, do you mean treatment? I don't know what kind of treatment are you on. Your camera screen is in between. Yep, already seen that. I'm making animation videos since last 1 year. I'm going to the chat in opposite direction, right? From the bottom to top. So none of the messages make sense. Also stuck on the files it provides. Unusable file. Anyways, I missed all the chat, so. Don't delete the stream. Yeah, stream stays on. Fortunately, this is on YouTube, so it's not Twitch, so no more deleting the streams. It stays on. All of my streams has been here on this channel, so feel free to watch them later. All right. Now. Oh, I just closed it. I should have moved it to the other screen. Anyways, I remember the process. So for this animation, when Hanumanji is walking and Lanka's burning in the background. So it's a pretty simple shot. You can just imagine it inside your head and be like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. Someone's walking in the front, something is in the back, the ground moving, camera shaking, whatever. Do you really need a storyboard for this? Maybe, or maybe if you just get a reference. So try to go for the fastest way possible. Not the easiest way. Don't be a stupid, lazy fucking person. I went a little too on board there, but yeah, don't be a lazy person. Being fast and being lazy is different, right? You don't have to look for shortcuts. You have to look for the way which is faster. Might need some extra work to get done, but if the process is fast, then might as well just go for it. So the fastest approach would be if you can just find a video reference, because it's just a single shot. So that's what we did. We scrubbed the internet for like 15 minutes and we found the Iron Man walking shot, and we were like, absolutely, this is masterpiece. This is what we really wanted to do, right? It matched with the vision. It matched with what we the composition that I had in my mind. So one character on the left side of the screen and something happening on the right. So I was like, yeah, this is fine. We don't need storyboard. So we took a screenshot of that. Might as well. We might have downloaded the video as well. So kept it, and started doing the 3D animation. So I have a 3D animator intern with me, Nephilim. What's his real name? Sahil Sayyed. Yeah. So I'm calling him by his Discord name. So I asked him to animate that walk cycle, the Iron Man walking, and I'm like, since it's Hanumanji, he has to be bulky, he has to be more muscular, we need more stiffness and rigidness in the body. It can't be just somebody's like, woo, too flexible. So then we had a rig made earlier. I had a rig made earlier. I made it from Unreal Engine Mannequin. Let me show it to you. This one. Right, so I'll hide the background for now. What the hell is this? Oh, this is even weird. Outliner. So he gave me this. There's a music too. Let's mute the music for now. We don't need it. So he gave me this, and so the walk was different, not like this. The timings were different, and the steps were having different timings to it. So it was, I think it was faster. It was slower actually. It was slower. So the next thing after this was to put this into the comp, right? Because we have the 3D animation, we corrected it a bit, makes few adjustments to the 3D animation, and when we started to feel like it has some weight while while the character is walking, so the next thing is to send it to the comp. Now in the comp, what we will do is put the music or the sound effects, because the character animation is almost final. So next challenge would be to figure out the right music for the animation. Now generally whenever I do stuff like this, I have a few rough kind of musics in my head, what kind of music I want to go with. So with this one, I had the idea that I want something like guitar or something which is like bam bam da, 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 something like this, something more epic and which has a bit of aggression to it. And Darkwood was one of those music which I found, and I'm like, yeah, this absolutely works. So after that, I took the music and we started comping here itself. So what is comp anyways? You put the image sequence that you rendered in 3D, and you put a music or sound effects behind it. Since there was no sound effects here, it's just the character and the music, and of course the background. So background we made was this simple, don't mind this one, we actually don't need to see this. So this was the background, a simple plane with a bit of noise displacement here, and another plane with noise displacement here. So when you look at it from the camera, so this will give you the feel of the Lanka. This is the ground behind Hanumanji, and this is the ground in front of Hanumanji. Now this ground is a bit different, because look at this, right? So this is all like getting all the layers of the comp ready: backgrounds, character animation, and music, all three of them. Now for this rig though, I didn't talk about the rig. This rig is Unreal Engine Mannequin, and you have a way to download Unreal Engine 4 Mannequin. The 5 Mannequin is a bit different. It's a bit more slim. We wanted absolutely bulky physics, so this one fit right into the character. So downloaded this, and it comes along with rigs. When you download the FBX, there's a way where you can export asset from Unreal. You can do that, and this is also available on the Unreal Engine marketplace for free. So if you find it there, you can just download it. So I had to find a plugin which converts the bones of this mannequin to Rigify rig, to the controller rig, which means this controller rig, where you can move around the character. There's one control missing. Alt H. I think one control is missing. But yeah, that gives you, this controller rig gives you the flexibility of moving this rig around. So there's a plugin for that. I don't think I have this plugin here with me now. Yeah, I might have lost that plugin. So I made it in 4.1 or maybe some other version, and I lost the plugin now. But you can pretty much find it very easily. So once the character rig is done, we animated it, and then the ground, everything else I've talked about. Now this ground, which is moving below his feet, it has to be in a loop, right? So when the whole animation ends, it has to start back again from the first frame, and you can't use particles or random effects here, because you will see a snap once the reel ends. So there's a different science behind it. I'll talk about it. But before that, we got the music and we put down the music, and we wanted to make it loopable. So I found these 2 nodes, where it just like loops perfectly. You hear? Did you hear that? So from here to here, it doesn't look like the song abruptly ends. The beat kind of just goes in the flow, right? So did that, put the music, and for the background, the moving background, we used geometry nodes. So this was a simple setup. there's a cylinder, and then there's a rotation to the cylinder which is controlled by the scene time. So and there's a bunch of batch nodes, you know. Basically, if you unplug this rotation, you can kind of rotate the cylinder on z-axis, right? So all this particle rotates, and since these particles are manually placed by using this distribute points on faces, they loop themselves perfectly, because it's the same particles that's going around. It's like it's not generating new particles with the rotation, it's the same particles. So with this entire thing, the first draft was ready. Oh, I just disconnected the rotation. So this was the first draft. Now, there's a good question. Isha Gupta asked, "Sir, if I don't know how to make it in 3D, what to do or where to start?" So let's say you don't know 3D, right? And learning entire new software is a bit of a challenge. So what would you do? Is once you so we go back to that finding Iron Man scene. From there, you take the reference and you make a rough sketch of the character, and then start making the rough animation in 2D itself. You don't need this 3D, right? Even if you look at the 3D animation here, you have two keys, which is like step 1 and step 2, and then you have passing, and then you have down key, and then you have up key, right? And then in betweens. So that's how it works. You can plan out the same keys in rough animation, like this. So initially, do scribbly lines when you plan your animation. So you don't have to be very precise with body or anything else. You can just kind of draw really scribbly lines, something like this, that just fulfill your vision. That's it. So you have this, and here's the feet position, something like this, and maybe give a nicer position to the head. After this, make another key. This time you will be a bit more precise, because once you got the scribbles down, you got to see the volume of the character, and it's easier for you to control that volume now. Make it so one hand looks like it's in the front, the other hand looks like it's in the back, something like this. Maybe tilt its shoulder a bit, stuff like this. So there are two keys, and then so this is step 1, this is step 2, and then this step goes back here again. So can I even select it? It selects the entire thing, but this step goes back here, so one goes back here again, right? And now you have to make the passing positions here and here. So those will be 3 and 4. They will be different, right? Passing positions between both steps. Same in this rough level. And once you have these kind of keys and you start to see the walk cycle with these kind of rough sketches, then you start to clean them up. So your cleanup might have to go through multiple passes. It doesn't have to be like rough and clean directly. You can have like scribbly or like really draft looking animation initially. Then you can have the rough animation, and then you can have the cleanup. Or it can have like scribbly lines first, then normal rough, and then another layer for the facial features. Then you can have rough layer for clothes, then you can have rough layer for the props, and then you can have another layer on top of it, which is cleanup for all of them. Even cleanup can be in multiple layers. So you don't have to bound yourself by just the principle of like 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, like that. Feel free, as far as you your software doesn't give up, you can just go along with the process, right? So once that is done, now the next thing what we did was we started doing 2D animation out of it. And this is where Rahil's work played a major role. His anatomy drawings is really good. So he has been practicing anatomy drawings from last 1 or 2 years, I believe. And he has gotten really good at it. So he showed me an early draft of the animation. I'll have to get this, yeah, this little gone. So that looked like this. Alright, so this is like the rough design. Actually, before this, I missed a step. So I took one of the frame from the 3D animation and I made a style frame out of it. I'll show you. So first was to make the character out of that mannequin. We had few references. We collected a few references from Pinterest. Most of them were just AI generated. Pinterest has gone to such a shithole right now that it will be a miracle if you find a reference that is made by a human. Everything is AI over Pinterest. So unfortunately, we just had to go with the AI generated references, right? So we got AI generated references from there, and we made a character on top of a 3D model, and this looked like something which is kind of old school as well, but it had some decent shapes going on. The shape language was good, the overall body was looking fine, and it had some old school character design to it. We didn't want to go with like the modern take of Hanumanji, where we have a lot of modern takes on Hanumanji, but we wanted to go like absolutely old school, which we see in our photographs in our houses and stuff. So once this happened and the design was final, so I asked Rahil to go for the rough animation. So Rahil was making rough animation, and in between, while he was doing rough animation, I went on and made the style frame. So this is the style frame that I came up with. And here, again, like, you have to be quick here. You can't spend days making style frames or characters or rough animations or 3D animation. This has to be done within like hours. So maybe 3 hours for the style frame, 2 hours for the character design, stuff like this. So within a day, you completed character design, style frame, maybe backgrounds, whatever you can do as fast as possible. And even after doing it so fast, we still got late. I mean, I wanted to post it at 12:30. I think we got late by 6 hours or something. But anyways, so the style frame was done here, and this background here, this was generated using ChatGPT. So we asked ChatGPT. We had this 3D render with us. Which one? This one. Yeah, so we supplied this to ChatGPT, and we are like, give us a kind of, we exactly don't wrote down Lanka because we didn't want to we didn't think ChatGPT would understand what Lanka would look like, so we gave it like ancient Indian structure, stuff like that. So we get this dome kind of shapes and all that. So we give that kind of prompt, and this is the result that ChatGPT gave. Of course, it had background. We cropped it out. So this is the result that we got, and it gave a very messy sky. I repainted it. The sky looked like this. So then we repainted the sky so that it looks a bit more clean. So we had 2 layers for the foreground and the background, right? So this one and the sky. Now in between that, we wanted to make FX. So if I show you the FX part, this is what the image that was generated by the ChatGPT. So this is what we got, and the FX looks nice here, right? They looks believable. So we wanted to go in the same direction and wanted to have our own FX, to the hand-on FX, that follows the kind of same direction and follows the same feel of the image that we have here. So Gaurav is one of my other friend. He volunteered. He's like, I'll make the fire effects for you guys, no problem. So he came along and made the fire effects, which is, where is the pass? Downloads. Yeah. So I don't have this in MP4 format, but this is what the fire effects look like. Right, look at these shapes. So these shapes are really important. The shape language this dude got is amazing. God of Sood. He's tagged in the reel, so you will find his ID, Instagram ID, in the reel itself. And this is the smoke. So this is the one of the layer of the smoke, right? And there's another layer which look like this. So these are shadows of the smoke, and looking at this, you can already feel the volume. Even it's just a silhouette, you can see the volume. That's something blobbly going on in here. Yeah, so you combine all of them and you have like such a beautiful, nice smoke that you see in the final result. Where is the final result? Give me a minute. Yeah, here. I might mute the music for now. Yeah, so this is the fire effects, with final compositing, everything. You see it in the back. It looks so good. Now, so coming back to 2D animation, while all this was happening, Rahil was working on the 2D animation, and I gave him the green signal that green light, that the animation is looking good. We might as well just start to clean it up. So he went on and made another pass. The tail was not going well here, so we had to change the tail. Yeah, so this is a bit more cleaner pass now. Almost to the final. It had cloth missing. The cloth was not working. It kind of looked like it's just flowing in its separate space. It didn't feel like it's nowhere connected to the original character, and the Gada was missing. So for the Gada, we worked really smartly here. I went to Blender and I used line art modifier, and I baked it into the grease pencil, and it came in 3D. So we just used it anyway. I'll show you here. What is this? So there is an image. Yeah. So this is another pass. So the cloth is now, it feels more like it's connected to the body. We have a better tail now, the fire effects on the tail and the Gada, and everything is almost ready here, right? So the character is almost ready. Now it can go for the coloring. But look at the Gada. It's actually rendered in 3D space. So we generated the outlines using grease pencil modifier. It's called line art modifier. You can bake it into grease pencil, and then you can erase it. You can just erase it like normal line art layer. It sits down here somewhere, this, right? And you might be thinking, the lines are in 3D space, how do you fill it? One good thing is it just works. When it comes to filling up the color, I think the fill tool looks at everything from the viewport, not from the actual space of the strokes. So when you're looking from the camera and you try to fill this shape, it just fills this shape perfectly, like it's drawing on paper. So I was surprised to know that this actually grease pencil actually works like that, which is pretty neat feature. You can just have a bunch of strokes arranged in 3D, and when you look at it from the camera, it just works like a paper. So we had all these multiple layers, and then we wanted to add highlight, shadows and colors to it. So the next pass was to do that exactly. I don't think this is the one. Yeah, this is Rahil's file. He was working on shadows and colors, shadows and rim lights on this one. So this is the shadow pass. It's still missing in betweens, but this is where we were going with. Most of them are like in between WIPs which are pending for approval. So once Rahil shows me, and then I'm like, yeah, this looks good, and then he proceeds with them, and then in the background I do something else. So that kind of stuff. So this is fire that we made in the end, and this should have all the colors and all the layers to it. Yeah, this might be the most heaviest file as well. Yeah, so this one has all the colors and the rim lights and the shadows. So this one is pretty much complete, and you can see it in its full glory. And when you switch on the render mode or the material preview mode, so this is how it looks. Why do I look like Abhishek Bachchan? I don't know. From what I know, Amitabh Bachchan was not my father. That's what my parents told me. So I might be living a lie too. Who knows? Now, coming back to this topic. So here we don't have multiple stages of comp, right? The first time we made a comp draft was when we made the 3D animation. So we put down the music and the background and everything, and we are like, yep, comp draft done. Second time we made the comp draft, it was directly at the end, which was a bit of a mistake because we just had a style frame and we didn't check everything in between. So what happened when I actually put everything together, it was just not going good, and one of the reason was that AI generated background. We never tested our comp with the AI generated background. So when we put down everything in the comp, it was just like too much of details. It was difficult for the eye to track what's going on. I'll show you that in a bit too. But for this, since this was just a simple animation, single shot, not many characters, so here we rendered each of these passes into multiple, actually each of these layers into multiple passes. So colors, shadows, highlights, outlines, all of them went into multiple passes. Otherwise, if it's a complicated animation where we have like multiple characters and we have multiple shots going on, so we don't have that much of time to do the compositing. So we just blend everything within the Blender file, and we try to do it the best way possible here itself in the Blender, and we just directly send one single layer, which is character layer, to the comp. Now sometimes we do comp in After Effects, sometimes we do it in Blender. This time we decided to do the comp in After Effects because After Effects is just a bit too faster, and it's a bit more flexible when it comes to experimentation. With Blender you have to play with a lot of nodes, and it's rather slow as well. While I wait for the After Effects to open, when you make Instagram page first day, you put something on story that you are looking for 3D designer artist applied, but I am not capable that time because my portfolio is not good. Then I started, then I gained skills, and then I got the job, and then after few months I started freelance. What? Great. It's great, man. Also it is all goes to you. Also it is all thanks goes to you, I believe. You rejected me That time. Thanks a lot. Shit, that's emotional, man. Almost made me feel crying. I almost had a tear in my eye. That's a huge success story. What happened to the comp? Oh, I know what happened to the comp. I accidentally deleted a layer. That's what happened to the comp. Yeah. So, so what happened is, by the end of the project, it was such a chaos that in that chaos, I accidentally deleted a image sequence, and because of that deleted image sequence, you see this all red. Actually, what I did was, I deleted the image sequence of the ground, so you might not be able to see the comp in its full glory, but this will work too. This will be more than enough for you to understand what's going on. So here you see all the layers that's here. So first of all, we put the sky, and then the smoke, and then the fire, and then the background. So and it doesn't used to look like this. It used to look like absolute dog shit. I'll show you. Unfortunately, I don't have multiple passes of the comp. Otherwise, I would have shown you that. And what else? Okay, now I'll start to see what I'm talking about. Yeah, this was not here. I added it in the post. And Hanumanji didn't used to look like this good. We didn't have this glare, we didn't have the tail gradient, we didn't have this filters on it, just this one, right? And yeah, the ground gave up. Yeah, so this is what we had, right? Now if you look at it, it doesn't look as appealing as it is in the style frame. Do we still have the style frame? Yeah. So style frames looks bit more better, but even the style frame doesn't hold that appeal to it. And here, when we start looking at it, it's already like we are already past 12, and I'm like, oh shit, we have to post this animation, and I just assembled everything, and I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm like, oh no, this looks absolutely bad. This looks horrible. I should not be able to. I should not put it on Instagram. So I was almost ready to just cancel the entire work. I was on a verge to cancel the entire thing. I was like, no, I can't put this, right? And then I'm trying to figure out what's going on. There has to be something that I'm not able to get it. So added a few gradients to Hanumanji, and then at least I did all this. Added all these effects to Hanumanji that were supposed to be here, and it started to look okay. But then the background and the fire and everything, and even the fire was not like this. It had different gradients and everything to it. So they were just not going together. So Rahil gave me a few hints. He's a good compositor too. So he gave me a few hints, and things start to look better. But it was still not up to the mark until I added blurs. So when I added blurs to it, can I open it again? Don't save. Yeah. So until I added blurs to it, and once I added blurs, everything just started to make sense, or everything just started to fall in place. So the eye doesn't go here immediately now. Initially, because of that AI generated background, it was so like noisy that your eye naturally goes there. Your eye naturally goes to that Lanka, or to all those noisy details. And both of them, like the Lanka and the Hanumanji, both of them were just sitting at the equal importance level. So initially it was just confusing where to look at. With the background and the foreground blurred, then it became easier to look at the main character, to the lead first, and then you start to see the rest of the shot, right? Also we had this, these smoke effects, dust effects for the feet, and those were mostly hidden behind the foreground, but still those, little bit of that dust comes out, that sells the idea that he is a bit heavy and bulky, and the ground moves and shake, and the dust goes by when he puts his foot down. So this was important effects as well. But yeah, once I added the blurs, it started to look good, and then I added these fire particles. These fire particles were just made in TV Paint. You can just draw these lines by holding control, and it gives you these fire particles. So this was a quicker job. So overall, having done all that, and then the music and the timings were already nailed down during the 3D rough animation. So I just had to put the music and the and a few filters and the watermarks, of course, because watermarks are important if you put anything on the internet. Never forget your watermarks if you make anything for the internet. So yeah, after putting the watermarks, the animation was done. It's ready, it's complete. And I believe that is the entire brief, or that is the walkthrough of the entire project. I don't think I have missed anything. I might have missed one thing, which is geometry nodes for the foreground, but that's rather too complicated of a thing to look at. You might just get bored looking at it, to be honest. So I'm just skipping it for now. Hey, look at that. Almost 10:07, and I covered everything. Okay, so now I can take some questions, maybe for 5-10 minutes, and then we'll end the stream. Finally, tutorial. Dude, I have a similar tutorial. I have a similar tutorial sitting on my YouTube from last 1 year for one of the other animation that I made for Virat Roop. So I have a similar tutorial. It has a similar briefing thing going on in the entire video. Can you please say how to use a symbol in Adobe with example? What is a symbol in Adobe? What do you mean? And you don't have to type it so many times. Eyes could have been something better. IDK feels kind of off. Rest is fire. You can say, everybody has their own set of preferences. We really liked the eyes and the overall character that came along. Maybe could have improved in certain aspects, but given the time, I think this is the absolute best that we could come up with. So bro, thanks a lot, seriously, a lot currently, and I am in Bangalore because of you. Hey, good for you, man. Good for you. I'm happy for you that you finally find a job. The stream got recommended. It means you're gonna blow up. When? That's what I wanna know. When? My YouTube has been doing shit from last 1 year. My Instagram is fine. Instagram is fine. But YouTube, in last 1 year, I got around like 2,000 fucking followers. That's it. That is one of the platforms where I can actually make money from advertisement. Instagram doesn't give me shit when it comes to money, right? And YouTube doesn't want me to earn money. I'm in such a weird place, actually. I'm in such a weird place. I think life wants me to figure out my own way of making money, something like really independent out of this, social media stuff, or something that has never been discovered. I think I'll have to dig my own gold mine to make some fucking money out of this business. Dude, this is insane. This is insane. I'm so pissed. So please post the full course from scratch to finish, like a pro like you, using Blender and sketching together. We are making one. Like I told you in the beginning of the stream, it's just too difficult. It's just too difficult to take everything together. The animation is dope. It's great. Thanks, man. Thanks. What is the future plans for Studio LKY? The future plans. Shit. Should I announce it now? You should wait. You should wait. There's like a lot of things happening. I'm trying to take in like multiple projects. I'm just trying to pull everything that I can towards me, and we are just two people. So it's just Rahil and me, and I'm trying to do everything that a massive company does. So it's everything is just too slow because of that. So we have a lot of plans, but if I announce them right now, it's at such a stage that it can just fail at any moment. So me announcing something and then it doesn't come out for a year or something, it feels like my all my ideas are dead. So I don't want to announce anything now. But even if we are at the 50%, then I think I'll be comfortable to tell you guys what we are working on. But we are working on like multiple things, not even like Reels is just a minuscule part of what we are doing. We are doing like a lot of other shit, like really big shit, that might take us a lot of time and money too. But yeah, there might be a Kickstarter soon for because we need money for a bigger project. YouTube algorithm needs to recognize you. I don't know when. That's the problem. Don't you get promotion offers? I do get promotion offers, but one of the goofiest promotion offer that I received recently is via Garnier. So Garnier didn't came to me. It was another company, some media agency in between, and they were like, Garnier wants you to make their reel. So I'm like, why doesn't Garnier just reach me out? They know my ID. But yeah, so this media company is like, they want you to make their reel and for Mother's Day special, and they offered me a decent price. They agreed on my price, and I'm like, okay, fine. Although I had to do a bit of negotiations. In the end, they said that the payment gonna arrive after 60 days. So 60 days from Garnier would be understandable, because it's a known company. You can hold them accountable. Although, what can I do against a massive company? So still, you can put a little bit of faith, because the company is so big, and you can take their word for it. But there's another media company in between. You have to understand that. So there's another media company, and it is saying that you get your payment 60 days after you post the reel. What's the guarantee? What's the guarantee that I'm gonna get my money? So I'm sitting here in absolute disbelief, and I'm like, no, I don't trust you guys. I need advance, and I need full payment before I deliver the final result. Of course, I'll show you everything. You'll get to see everything in full resolution, but I need my full money before I send you the final result, before I post the reel. And they did not agree. I think I was at the right. I can't take this chance, especially when I have people working with me. So yeah. I get promotion offers, but either they are really low paying jobs, or they're just like goofy ass shit like this. I might as well just take freelance projects if I have to do all this. So let's collab. Collaboration is something, that's another thing I don't do a lot, because managing the team itself is a task right now, and collaborating with other artists requires extra step of management. so that kind of messes up the schedule. So that's why try to stay away from collab. But sometimes once in a while when I feel like I have a bit of room, so then I do the collab. You're one of the finest artists ever followed. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, 60 days is dumb. Brands come forward on their own. Yeah, brands will come forward. Anyways, so that's a lot of questions. That's enough questions, I think, for today. I hope you really understand something from this stream. And if you want to make your animations, just follow this process. It will be messy in the beginning. You might not get results that you want, but what you really have to do is keep on doing it, and you'll start to see this jumbled mess of a process will start to take shape according to what you really want to do. So it adjusts according to your production pipeline, this process. So that's the beauty of this process. And that's it. I hope you guys sleep well tonight, and I'll see you guys in next Monday stream. Bye. Good night.